okay, you let your hair and makeup guy do, Annette the way she should look, the way you think. And there were no mirrors except I went in the bathroom to change into my tutu, into my wardrobe, and I went to the bathroom and looked up after I was done, and I thought, oh my God, because there was a mirror in the bathroom, and I thought, oh my God, just don't. I scared myself. I thought, who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? And then I thought, no, forget it, and I just kept going.
It was too funny.
It was fun. It was fun, though.
Yeah, I highly recommend any of our listeners that are listening to watch it because you'll love it.
Well, they won't know it's Valene, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Now, when you played Valene for, what was it, about 15 seasons between Dallas and Knots Landing, and they mentioned about the spinoff, did they come right to you and Ted and discuss it with you to say that you were going to be the spinoff couple from that?
Well, no. It just went to me. I'll tell you why. Because my Gary, on the few initial episodes of Dallas that I did as the waitress down in the diner in Dallas Fort Worth. Yeah, and I rode in the back of a taxi and tried to learn how to do the accent because I really didn't, I had never done a Dallas accent before, and so I just rode around with the guy and didn't tell him what I was doing, which was homework. Bottom line is, David Aykroyd played Gary in the first few Dallas episodes that I did. And then David Jacobs, who created both shows, invited me on a rainy day somewhere about now, like February-ish, because pilot season is more like March and April. And he said, how would you like to, spin off Valene and Gary to do, a new series called Knots Landing? Because he had written Knots Landing first, and the network wanted something more glamorous and over the top and something a little more flashy. Yeah, they wanted something a little more flashy. So David then came up with Dallas. So Dallas went out first, and then David said once Dallas had it was pretty quick to be, people latched onto it. And pretty quickly he said, okay, now can I try Knots Landing? And CBS said, yeah, give it a shot. So bottom line is, Ted and I had just done Wonder Woman together, both of us as guest stars on Wonder Woman with Linda Carter. And so they had to find a new Gary because David Aykroyd was busy filming a miniseries at Universal Studios. I think it was Little Women, and he had a central role in that, and he was not available when they needed to do the pilot. So they, met with a lot of different guys, and they called me and said, what about Ted Shackelford? We understand you've just worked with him. And I said, oh, no, not a chance. Don't do it. We're too similar. We both, work high speed, high gear, lots of energy, blah, blah, blah. I said, we're too similar. It would never work. And guess what?
Yeah.
Guess how they took my advice and whatever. At the table read, I sit down, and who am I sitting next to but Ted Shackelford?
That was perfect. You guys were great together.
Oh, I know. We're soulmates. We're just he's someone that'll be in my DNA forever, as will Julie Harris, who played my mother, and Michelle and Donna too, as my compadres.
Yes, I know. Julie, you had studied under her, and she was your mentor in that. And
yes.
She's been in so many things I've watched, and I absolutely love her, and God bless her.
God bless her is absolutely right. She is one in a million. She's an icon, and, such a theater animal that I just love her with all my heart. And I'm so lucky. I had Julie Harris for a mother and Alec Baldwin for my brother. What else could an actress? What else could an actress ever want? I've got it all. That's it. I'm done.
So you don't need to do anything more. Your bucket list is filled.
I don't. I got to do pretty, and I've got Julie Harris for a mother and Alec Baldwin for my brother. So I'm set.
Wow, that's amazing. Actually, Joan, I was wanting to know. I know you've guest starred in a lot of great shows like MASH, The Love Boat, even My Name is Earl. So I wanted to know what your favorite guest star role is, and what current show you would like to guest star on now.
Ooh, what an incredible couple of questions. Let's see. Guest star right now what came to mind quickly, but I'm sure there's tons, but quickly is Castle.
Love it.
That's
with, awesome.
Oh, I know. I love it. And I want to play Susan Sullivan's alcoholic, wannabe, not wannabe, but, over the hill, it escaped her, it got away, career, girlfriend of Susan Sullivan on Castle. So we could have a little couple of scenes that are just, or maybe just even one delicious one. But I love Castle. And Stana, who is the lead with Nathan Fillion, she played my daughter in something just prior to her doing the Castle pilot. We were down at La Jolla Playhouse, which attracts a lot of New York actors, and Des McAnuff, who directed Jersey Boys and won the Tony and has won many Tonys, well deserved. He directed it, and I would love to be some kind of cohort of Susan Sullivan's on Castle. But I'm sure there's a lot of shows I could think about. And when you say what was my favorite, I tend to love, it's like children. You love them all, but one that sort of jumps out, and people still comment to me the same way I did Roxanne in Cyrano with Richard Chamberlain, and people come up to me still about that. But the one that comes to mind is where I played a model who had a face thing called Tic de la Rue, I think it is, and it was part of, I think, the medical, there was a trilogy of medical shows that was, Chad Everett's was one of them, but it was a guest shot on that show, Medical Center. And
I was trying to think of the name. I watched that. So
Medical Center, right? And people just so responded to it. It was very intense, to do it, because I had to contort my face to make it real that I had this thing. And she was a model who earned her living and her life's earnings because of her face, and to have this affliction. It was a challenge, and I had a wonderful director, Jeffrey Hayden, who's married to Eva Marie Saint, and he was magnificent directing us, and it was almost like doing theater. When some television things are so great sometimes, it's like doing theater, and that was one of those.
Wow. You've had such a career between theater and primetime TV and films and everything. What haven't you done that you'd like to do?
Well, there's a couple. I mean, I'd love to do a crazy Auntie Mame-esque grandma, biker grandma, some kind of, something a little like Pretty, only, on broadcast, like Pretty, which is brave and unexpected. I would kill to do something funny on, cable or broadcast, so that would be the TV thing. The other would be an independent feature where, again, it's a risk. I did last spring, about a year ago now, an independent feature called Watercolor Postcards. And I played a mom who, my daughter was Bailey Madison, who's a young actress who's been everybody's daughter in everybody's feature. She was Billy Crystal and Bette Midler's grandchild in the thing they did at Christmas time, the title of which escapes me. But she's this brilliant little actress that is everywhere right now. She's the go-to female actress to play the daughter of anybody, and she was the daughter in this independent feature. And I'm terminal with cancer and can't afford chemo. It's dirt poor, trailer trash in Texas, in rural Texas. So I have, terminal cancer, and Bailey goes to the local bar in this tiny town, and the bartender, who's kind of sweet on me, gives her a bottle of vodka to be my anesthesia, because I can't afford chemo or radiation.
Oh my gosh.
And so the vodka, so I'm drunk out of my, I'm just completely spaced with all this stuff in me, and we had a couple scenes, and she dies in the first few, minutes, maybe in the first 20 minutes of the movie, but they spray painted me white. They put, I wore a nightgown, an old ratty nightgown of mine, with spray painted white on my arms. I let my arms show because they're so skinny, and I'm always, self-conscious. I did all kinds of things like Pretty that I, haven't ever done before. and it's out there now, I think, on YouTube, the trailer for it, and you'd never know it was me, I don't think, but it was a brave leap. So I'd love to do another independent feature, something brave, which is the off-Broadway of all the other film things, and just an interesting character that is not what you might expect from Joan van Ark.
Well, maybe you could write something and get it going.
Maybe that's the best way to go. I'm not even sure who I would write. I've had an idea, though, that Blanche Dubois, which is Streetcar Named Desire, I've always had this idea of Hollywood Blanche, meaning someone in Hollywood that's, Farrah Fawcett is a perfect example. God bless her. Yeah. God bless her, because I love her. But in a way, she was Hollywood Blanche, meaning this breathtaking, unbelievable, sexy, gorgeous, all of it, actress who, as you age, it all kind of turns a little bit. And you're a little bit like Kleenex tissue. You're disposable. Because I believe strongly that old blonde in Hollywood is an oxymoron.
Right.
It doesn't track. You can't
be
It's
a sin
old.
and a shame.
That's right. That's it. So I would love to find some piece of material, or maybe you're right, write it, but I've never, I've directed, and I love that. I'm not sure about my writing skills to be able to execute a really nice, interesting, fleshed-out script. But Hollywood, Blanche, I think would be a kind of interesting story.
Well, I hook up with somebody that writes. I know Jonathan Check does a lot of independent films. Maybe you can hook up with him and get your heads together. He's not too hard on the eyes either, so if you throw him in the movie.
What's his name?
Jonathan Check.
Oh, yeah, I think I know him. How do you spell the last name?
Scheaek, I believe. I'd have to look it up, and I can get it to you.
Okay.
But I know you're limited on time here, and we do have a couple callers. Would you mind taking a couple calls?
Yes, I'll do the two, and then maybe we have to adios.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on. All right. First we have Michelle. Michelle, go ahead and say hello to Joan.
Hi.
I thought for a minute it might. Hi there, Michelle. I thought for a minute it might be Michelle Lee.
I wish. Sorry to disappoint you.
No, you're not at all. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Hanging in.
So, Joan, I really enjoyed watching you on Knots Landing, and I really look forward to seeing you on Dallas as well. I mean, as much as it is sad with Larry's passing. And my question to you is, I know that you and Michelle Lee were good friends, both on the show and in real life. And I was wondering, I know you gave her, during some of the interviews, you guys mentioned that you kept giving her some crazy gifts. So obviously, I mean, we saw the mug that you gave her on the block party. And I know that she mentioned once in an interview when she divorced James Ferrantino, you made her a poster where it seemed like he's aiming a gun at her. And I'm kind of wondering if you could share with us a little more about those, crazy gifts that you gave her.
Well, I've given, at Christmas, I would always do crazy gifts, and I would, one Christmas I did pillows that had the character like Karen Fairgate Mackenzie, and so that it would be all the husbands, because on soaps, the women and the guys marry 700 or 800 times. So I did pillows, and Karen's was pretty short because it was just Karen Fairgate Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Mine, I'm very proud to say, was longer than even Donna's, which was Abby, who married so many times. But because Gary and I married 3 times, I think I beat her by 1. So the
like
pillows,
3 Gary pillows.
That's it. So I have my pillow actually in the office, and I hope that Karen, Michelle, and Donna, and everybody still has theirs. I also did a coffee mug one year for everybody, and it was a group shot with Nicolette Sheridan and Alec Baldwin and, a whole bunch of us together in a group shot. That was one. I can't think of anything other than, the little individual things that I gave to her. I do tell you this, that every time I see her, I give her a big, fat hug, because we are pals forever, I swear. And just today, a friend from London emailed and said that Knots is going to get, within the week or so, back on CBS television in London, and they're going to replay it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a good bit of news for us. But I can't think, other than the things that I did present